let's talk about private flood insurance high level. I don't want to go into a lot of detail here, but just keep in mind, as of July 1st, 2019, there is a new requirement that you must accept private flood insurance if a borrower comes in with a private policy. Think of it this way. The federal government wants to get out of the business as much as possible because flood insurance is complicated. So they're allowing the private industry to come in and offer flood insurance. However, here's the catch. The policy that they produce has to meet the definition of private flood insurance. Okay, so this is where it gets a little complicated. What is considered private flood insurance? Because I could bring in a piece of paper that I wrote in cran, flood insurance on it, and I bring it in and say, yep, it looks like I've got a policy. No, your due diligence, you have to make sure that it meets the definition under the regulation. So let's go through kind of the options here really quickly. First off, you have your standard flood insurance policies. These are the ones issued by the government and part of the National Flood Insurance Program. So these are the standard policies that are out there. These have been around for a long time. Now, then there's the private flood insurance policy. And really, to be a private flood insurance policy, remember, this is mandatory acceptance if they bring one in, but they have to meet the requirements that are laid out on the bottom of page 32 and the top of page 33. Okay, so they have to have they have to be from an insurance company, and they have a definition of that. So it can't just be some guy with a Crayola marker. On page 33, the coverage has to match up with the requirements of the standard policy. And there are some very specific requirements here. That means you have to compare the policies to see, is this all the same? Did they define flood the same way that the standard policy does? So, because they can change the way they define what a flood is and start excluding areas of coverage. Do they have, are their deductibles too high and out of step with what's the standard policy? If you go to page 34, do they have some exclusions in there that will basically invalidate the value of this property? So are there conditions that they've put out there? So there's really a lot of requirements, and you have to compare the policies to make sure, is this a private flood insurance policy? And if it is, you are required to get it.